This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you are listening to the Capes and the Lunatic Sidekicks podcast.
Yeah, whatever. Ben Reilly, Spider-Man's clone. He's the guy. He's got a sweatshirt. Yeah, that's how you know he's different, and he's a blonde hair.
That's right. As you can tell from those dulcet tones, it's the end of the month, which means it's time for another Scarlet Spider Sausage Fest, as Little Hellfire likes to call it. Welcome back to the Ultimate Spider Cast. I am Phil. Joining me as always, as you know, that voice you just heard, Boston's, I don't know, greatest son? I don't know, but Boston's hairiest son, it is. And that man on the
part of the sausage.
that man on the other side of the world in the sweatshirt. No, it's not Ben Reilly. It is.
Hello, everyone. Yep, that's right. On the 7th Sinister member.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's weird grouping in this episode. Oh man. All right. While we're here,
I love Ben Reilly.
Okay. No,
but you don't see a lot of Ben Reilly in this arc. You see Scarlet Spider, but you don't see a lot of moody, behind-the-scenes guy living in a trashy Fleabag apartment.
No, young man befriending the homeless.
No,
with NFL player names.
He had enough of Gannon. That was enough for him. You know, fist shaking in the air. He's had to move on.
That's right. You got to prepare for the next girlfriend. Jeez.
Man.
All right. So, yeah, because today, if you didn't read the description on your podcatcher, yes, we're talking the miniseries Spider-Man: Funeral for an Octopus, issues 1, 2, and 3 from March, April, and May 1995. Because, yeah, I don't know if this came later, because there's even an editor's note at the on the second page of the first issue that says, you know, this takes place immediately after Spectacular Spider-Man 221.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to beat Matt to it. But the back to back, Ben Reilly and Peter Parker at the top left of the comic book cover again. So I guess like I don't know, what is it? A team up of sorts, or a dual appearance of sorts in this book. Shown at the top. Oh,
what? Spider-Man and Ben Reilly at the top of the...
Yeah, the back-to-back. As Matt pointed out in the previous issues.
It's a big party.
Yeah, the buddy cop pose.
That's right.
One of
them's getting too old for this.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, Batman was 3 days. I love the party. Will wants to party with us. He's 2 days away from retirement, and this happens.
Oh, I must compliment you, Ray, on the great episode with Will. Speaking of Will, on Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, the Moon Knight podcast.
The Moon Knight
podcast.
No, thanks. It was great to actually have a good old yarn with Will. I feel I haven't spoken to him as much as I've spoken to you guys as well. So no, it was very interesting, and as Will mentioned on the Quantum Date, I'm glad to have completed the set as well. I've completed my collection. Yeah,
although I heard you're working on your whole Capes and Lunatics team, because I heard someone else is going to be on there soon.
I know. I've got everyone in my crosshairs.
I heard you landed a big fish coming soon.
Get your mouth out.
Royalty, some would say, queen of. So yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's not for a while yet because it's dictated by the phase of the moon. But I'm sure we'll figure out a date.
Go ahead, throw it in.
That's it.
That's gonna be a party.
Gimme.
That's
gimme.
That's gonna be a party. All right, so on to issue 1. As Spider-Man and Scarlet Spider getting attacked by Dr. Octopus's grave.
Hey Matt, are you reading this digitally or on a hard floppy as well?
I read this digitally, so I have no comments on any of the advertisements for this one.
Yeah,
but,
me too as well.
But I like that this was. I mean, it's a little bit interesting that it was its own one-off 3-issue series when Spider-Man has like 4 books that they didn't want to devote time to. They just focused it on this one rather than do crossovers. You know, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 4 monthly books, and they still had to do miniseries. Yeah, you know why? Because this and X-Men were like the 2 biggest sellers at Marvel at the time.
That's true. Yeah. 95 was the year of transition, right?
Yeah. And to truth be told as well, I mean, we're going to get into the 3 issues, but it kind of wasn't what I expected. I don't know. Could you say the same as well, Matt? Had you read this before as well? Or I know you have, Phil, but
so I had not read this before.
Yeah,
I'd read the Scarlet Spider, but I mean, this was way off my radar. I don't think I was really using the internet by 95. If I was, it was just at friends' houses to like watch them use AOL and over their shoulder, and I don't know, do things that 13-year-olds do. But,
that's it. Yeah.
I'm on the phone, Mom. Mom, hang up. Yeah.
Ma, get off the phone. We're trying to see Cindy Crawford. Come on.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested in celebrities and news about them. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, but I didn't expect this. I mean, when you hear something like this for such a figurehead character like Dr. Octopus, you're like, wait, he died? And Kane killed him? This is kind of a newer guy. I mean, I guess this is sort of like in pro wrestling when they want to promote the new flavor of the month and they have to defeat a well-known name. But
Nice.
But
I didn't. Sorry, just again, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's pretty old, isn't it? It's old enough. This time. I didn't. I was expecting to actually see maybe a resurrection or a return of Doc Ock, and he just never turned up.
well, they did that new female Dr. Octopus. They didn't resurrect Otto Octavius until after the Clone Saga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't until...
That's a while.
Yeah, it wasn't like around Amazing 428 or 429, something. Yeah, it's like after Ben Reilly's gone.
Oh, so substantial. He was away for a substantial time.
Oh, yeah, I'd say he doesn't come back for another, like, maybe 2 years or something from this.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess they just wanted to make Kane, like, this mysterious figure that, show how bad he is. Like, I mean, first we saw him kill off the Grim Hunter, but who cares? That guy had been around for 5 minutes, but yeah, and then kills off Doc Ock, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
But they're also promoting a villain that is sort of associated a lot with Scarlet Spider, which is kind of cool because they're, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So they're featuring him. At this point, it hadn't been like Web of Spider-Man hadn't been changed to Web of Scarlet Spider yet, had it?
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, unless this was coming out at that time, because like I said, it was weird. I think this came out later because, like I said, on that second page, they had to give you that editor's note that says, "Oh, this story taking place like immediately after Spectacular Spider-Man 221, which is where Ock gets killed."
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how the story opens though in it was Doc Ock's headquarters, but it's like an old warehouse, and they have to make the the whole thing. Oh, this is where the whole thing for Spider-Man started, in an old warehouse. Yeah. Great power, great responsibility. Take a drink, Lil.
At least they didn't spend like 4 pages recapping it. Like,
no,
it's been done.
Oh yeah, that would have been just boring. Yeah.
Especially if you're devoting this new 3-issue thing. But I don't know. I thought the first issue had a lot of action and there was unexpected intrigue into it. I didn't know what villains I'd be seeing. I guess except for Kane, I thought he would figure into it more. But I didn't see a little bit of a somewhat of a Sinister Six reunion. Now I have some questions about this because the funeral part, I love that there's like clearly just generic henchmen there too.
They care for him. Yeah.
Yeah. But Sandman is also there, right?
Yeah, that was Sandman, wasn't it, Phil?
Where?
Marco? Was it?
Oh yeah. But remember, this is when when Matt's favorite character, Sandman, was good. Remember, I think he was working.
Avenger Sandman.
Yeah, or he might even be working
okay.
for Silver Sable at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what he was. That was just like an inconspicuous absence when you see the Sinister Six reunite. But yeah, okay, it makes sense. He was on the straight and narrow path.
And that answers one of my queries as well. Yeah, because he was missing. I was kind of waiting for him, but I did forget that he was at the funeral. But I know he had turned good for a while, and
because he was an Avenger way before this, so he must have turned good and then bad and then good again. But Silver Sable kind of walks the line, right? She's sort of like a bounty hunter.
No, I mean Sandman was good.
No, she's
No, I was gonna say Sandman was good for a while because it was mid '80s or something, and he made it through like this. I think half of the '80s and most of the '90s as a good guy. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't Silver Sable? Isn't she more like she's an ambassador, isn't she for Simcaria, like a secret service thing? So sanctioned by the government, right? She's not. Or is she a mercenary?
Well, like her bounty hunter thing, I think is that country's one of their biggest, bringing in money. So, yeah, she's one of their main sources of income.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, I think a lot of the things a lot of people she hunts are not old Nazis or, I think in one Spider-Man story she was hired to hunt down some supervillain or something. So,
they're still kind of good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The art to this I thought was surprisingly good. I mean, even the first few pages, really, really nice way that Spider-Man's drawn. There's a really cool angle of him on the wall with a spider torch or the light, something coming from his belt. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he used that a lot. What was that 80s, maybe 70s? Yeah, he had a little belt buckle, but it's like a light. Yeah.
Yeah. But who's the artist? I'm looking at he breakdowns Stuart Johnson, finishes Al Milgram. I thought the art was pretty good. I don't know. Did you guys like the art or?
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the art. Yeah.
And the band began to play.
Like alarm clock.
Oh, was it?
That's when I normally wake up. Sorry.
No worries. I thought it deserved a song. Like the art, it was
Goodbye, Otto.
That's it. The eulogy.
But did you see? There's two writers, at least on this first issue, Ray. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Mike Cantor, Dion or whatever, but Tom Brevoort.
Yes, yeah.
Who you talked to? Yeah.
I think you mentioned. Did you mention it to him? Like we were going through our favorite runs and stuff, and I think he mentioned. I can't remember, but
he might have mentioned some Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. But Tom Brevoort. Yeah, this is this is good. A very fun issue.
Oh yeah, this funeral was full of people. Ock's history. Betty Brant still's blaming. Well, she used to blame Spider-Man, but now I guess she is blaming Ock for her brother's death way back in Amazing Spider-Man 11.
Yeah, that was a deep cut.
Oh yeah.
I also I love the little background details when they, for J. Jameson talking crap about the television media, and then he says what he does is journalism. What they do is exploitation, and then the TV trucks. One of them is the famous network CNM.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of deep cuts here. Yeah, the one there's the psychiatrist there who's helping Doc when he was all afraid of Spider-Man after Spider-Man just beat the holy crap out of him one time.
But we also get this guy. I don't know what to make of it. Elias Hargrove.
Yeah, he's
cousin.
Yeah.
Mysterious cousin.
I think he showed. What was it? Not Lethal Foes, but Deadly. There was a Deadly Foes of Spider-Man miniseries. I believe he's in that.
Okay, all right. It's a bit of a weasel, anyway.
Oh yeah.
And he really shouldn't be riding a bicycle wearing a trench coat through traffic in New York City in the 90s. It's not as bike safe. But, No helmet. Just.
Is that illegal in New York?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. You could ride in traffic on a bicycle nowadays, but I don't know. I just feel like it was not a good idea back then.
Wow. One of those straps get caught in the spokes as he's pedaling along. It's a very odd thing to do, like for the rider to say, "Yeah, put Elias Hargrove on a bicycle." Like it's, right.
I mean, a lot of people do for exercise now, but I just wonder if they like that was just put in there to show. Yeah, Hargrove doesn't have a lot of money, so he's willing to do things for money.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he does live like they show his apartment a little bit, and he's sitting on a ratty, torn up chair.
That's true.
Like a TV. He's pretty close. It looks like a little. I mean, his VCR is really old looking too. So.
Is that a Betamax?
Oh, it might be. It looks like a little big, but
the old top loader.
Top loader, yeah. That is old. But no, you're skipping over some good parts here, like Ben Reilly hanging there at the funeral, thinking, "I never met Doc Ock, but I still hate him just by proxy."
Yeah. Well, I mean, like as we mentioned in the previous episodes, he's got all those experiences and memories, and to him, it all feels real, right? But I guess he's got that added knowledge now that he knows it isn't, but he can't shirk those emotions, I guess. And it's always good to see Ben Reilly there.
And then Peter has to come back for some reason as Spider-Man.
Well, that's kind of like an OCD thing, like he was there under false pretenses as Peter Parker, just a part of the Bugle team, I guess. But Spider-Man has to have some last words.
Yeah, and it's important here as well because again, I'm not too sure of the context, so maybe you can explain, Phil or Matt. Spider-Man's is indebted to Otto for being saved, like for Otto saving him.
During those last couple Scarlet Spider issues we were covering, the other story in Amazing Spectacular, Peter had been poisoned and like there was
that's right.
He was
on the roof.
Yeah, him hanging out, laying on the roof. Yeah, Otto finds him and cures him. Okay,
why?
He unmasked him too, and like Peter's like, "Oh my god, he knows who I am," and like Doc Ock's like, I don't know if he was turned over a new leaf or he, now that he had a holographic girlfriend, but he gave this girl, he's with this overweight woman. He gives her like this VR rig that she basically looks like a blonde She-Hulk,
Okay.
But he cures Spider-Man. He goes, "I don't care who you are." He's like, even gives him back his mask. He's like, "All I know is I want my greatest enemy there the next time I try to, do whatever."
Wow. Okay.
And Peter's like, "Oh, okay." And he's swinging home. He's like, "I should be nervous, but I don't know. This seems great." Yeah. Cause Otto lets himself be taken by the police. And that's when, Kane like rips open the van and snaps Otto's neck. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Savage assassination. Yeah. And how long has Vulture been looking like the new Vulture, not old man in a leotard Vulture?
That's not Toomes, is it? Yeah.
That is Toomes, yes. Since Amazing Spider-Man 388, when he got a rejuvenator device and figured out that he could take the life force from people. Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, it actually makes him a little bit more dangerous, right, than just an old dude flying around in a suit.
He figured that out the last storyline with Peter Parker's parents, who turned out not to be his parents.
Right. The spies.
Yeah.
Turned out to be robots.
Oh, gosh.
Robots in disguise.
Autobots, roll out.
Yeah. But, so Spider-Man's kind of... I found it really funny the way he was portrayed. He's kind of all shaking and he's grabbing his head on that page because he's so emotional, it seems, and he wants to bring the killer to justice. So I think this page kind of just sets up that Peter's, going to actually fight for Doc Ock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he was suffering, like when he's kind of holding his head, I thought he was suffering some adverse effects from being cured. I thought it was like a late stage thing where from beyond the grave, Dr. Octopus gets his revenge or something. But
it's the guilt, bro. Always the guilt.
Spidey guilt. Yeah.
And so we go to the VHS, to Elias Hargrove.
Oh yeah, because he gets it from that guy. What's this guy's name? Gertie's or?
Oh, Gertie. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's his. It's Ock's attorney. Yeah, an executor of his will. Oh, okay. Yes, because he puts in the tape and Otto says something about the one time you showed some resolve, which was the Lethal Foes of Spider-Man miniseries. Yes.
Yeah, right. But still makes time to insult his cousin as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't really get these 3 panels at the bottom, so maybe the artist hadn't really portrayed it properly as well. What is he meant to be? Is he like quizzical and then kind of like happy or something? Or he's discovered something? What are those emotions with those the faces?
Well, I think at first he didn't want to listen to the tape, and then I think he's realizing, oh wait, Ox offered me an opportunity here.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
He's like offering him quote unquote power or whatever.
To forge your own destiny. Yeah, okay. So he's getting the buy-in.
Either that or he saw the X-Men fruit snacks on the next page.
Don't tempt us with that. We can't access those fruit snacks digitally.
Maybe if you... Yeah, true. I was about to say, maybe if you go on eBay as well, someone's selling an unopened packet of...
Yeah, they should be good at 25 years later. Come on.
Yeah. So we see the first sign or the first appearance of this rejuvenated Vulture.
Yep.
And he runs into our boy Scarlet Spider. Goes right into it.
I love how he just like swings at Vulture and he's like, Spider-Man, no, some second-rate imposter. I love for legal sake. He's like, no, the one the Bugle calls the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a media created persona. That's it. But I love the interplay between all of the surviving non-reformed members of the Sinister Six.
Yes.
How they interact with each other.
Oh.
Especially Hobgoblin. I just feel like Hobgoblin, when I was introduced to him, was such like a vicious character. And it's so strange that he has to be like a team player. Not that Electro is a teddy bear or anything, but I don't know.
Oh, that reminds me, folks. Remember, stay tuned for November's Hobgobble Gobble Month the second annual Hobgobble Gobble Month.
Gobble gobble. Yeah, now that'll be good. Yeah, because Hobgoblin is a good character. They all are actually. It's great. It's kind of, as you say, Matt. They're kind of like a super group because I don't know. For me, they don't seem like team players at all. But they,
and maybe
they somehow.
Maybe that's why they got their own like 3-issue arc rather than just putting them in the main series, because this is kind of an all-star team, and you got Scarlet Spider and Spider-Man doing double duty, although it's separate, which at this point they're still teasing, they're in the same issue. It's at the top. Stanley presents Spider-Man and Scarlet Spider. And they're not a tag team like it will appear in the Price Corner bar. But
yeah, no, very much so, because if you look at Ben Reilly here, there's really no other reason other than he thinks Vulture's escaped prison, right? That he attacks him, and obviously he's flying around. There's nothing to do with, because I had a little look back there. There's nothing to do with him trying to follow a trail of Doc Ock's murder or anything like that. He's just, he had no connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to wrap up Vulture with some of that impact webbing, which doesn't work.
A couple of balls down the gob. you need to chuck it down the gob, not around him.
Not the wings. Yeah.
But I swear, is this issue? Are they just like trying to like see how many editors' notes they could fit in? Because like when Vulture almost drops that chimney on those people, Ben gets in the way to save him, and he's like, "Oh, this is almost like when Captain Stacy got crushed." Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? There's so many nods to the past, like the classic moments of Spidey.
Although that was a Doc Ock story, so maybe that's why.
But I mean, also, as you mentioned at the beginning with the old warehouse and that reminder, there's a lot of these touches to the old things. I like how Ben actually saves. Boy.
Ben is saving.
Snooze.
Matt's doing drops now as well.
In the morning.
Smelly cat, smelly cat.
I put my phone down, the volume down on my phone, but the alarm overrides it. It's done. That's it. Like an emergency alarm. So, sorry.
No worries. No, but I like what Ben Reilly does here to save the mother and son, just using himself as a shield. I think that's pretty cool. And I didn't realize he had traces as well.
Yeah, little like min dot tracers. Yeah, mini dot. Yeah. I guess is that more nondescript than like a spider? It's just like, okay, here's a little dot for you.
Yeah.
Yes. Mini dot. Yeah.
A scarlet letter. It's an O that's filled in.
It's first use of the Kona button.
Mm-hmm.
There's a button on the sweatshirt that was ripped off.
But yeah, I just love the meeting of these. It's the Sinister 4 right now.
Sinister 4 look pretty badass. All striking a pose. All 4 of them. Jeez.
Yeah,
really.
It's the 90s. Everyone's buff.
Electro is really flexing the glutes.
Electro. You got Mysterio ready to pounce. You got Hobby kind of just clutching his cape. But no, they look pretty good. It's good to and one of the things as well. I mean, again, I'm just jumping a little ahead. Mysterio, geez, I think he's the most effective. Like, he seems to always be in some stories where he actually gets up to some mischief, and anyway, we'll just leave that for issue 3. But.
And then I guess is this like some government people trying to work out Doc Ock's arms?
Nondescript factory. Yeah. Would it, so these okay. So these are his arms. These are the actual. Yeah. It's not like a replica or anything like that.
No, I think they're the real arms. They're just trying to figure out how to work them because they were like bonded to Doc Ock's like nervous system. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, and they're looking to replicate them, to actually kind of mass produce them.
Mm-hmm.
But so a little bit of that to show them, and there's the last panel kind of to show that they're not totally under control. I guess that something will happen again, which is kind of can I be really kind of geeky here as well?
Please,
I do love my cephalopods. Yeah, I never realized, how Doc Ock's arms kind of almost, and you see it here, have their life of their own.
Yes.
But yeah, in nature as well, the octopi, their tentacles are actually on a separate like neural system to their brain. So they actually do act on their own accord, separate to the brain of the octopus. It's very strange.
Wow.
Yeah, so whether or not...
Oh, what was that?
Ahoy, ahoy.
Bazinga.
Anyway, that aside.
Wow. That's interesting because like the real life octopus, Dr. Octopus, the character, also produces a lot of ink.
Okay. Like we saw in the beginning of this issue, yes.
Well, that too.
Then we see Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter goes home because they're getting ready for the baby because Mary Jane's pregnant.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Tender moment, just for one page, and then that's it.
I have to find Doc Ock's killer.
Yeah, he set himself that goal. Good on him. Good on Peter.
Come on, Peter. Get her out of those bunny slippers. Come on. Speaking of flexing, look at Kona.
Oh. Yes, I'm just getting the blood moving.
It's replicating the Sinister 6.
Yeah. Yes, at the beginning.
I was going to say, it sounds like a wrestler named Matt Mysterio.
It does. Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. So back to the Sinister Four. Here talking to Elias, and we now are given like an objective. I guess there's some valuables that need to be retrieved, I guess, from the government, which we all know what it is. I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah, he says it's all Doc's equipment, then notes were taken by the government.
Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's basically the tentacles, though.
Yeah. They get their assignment.
Yeah.
Like Charlie's Angels, via someone that they can't see in real life.
Yeah.
Because, dear fellow, and I quote, there is booty enough for all.
Oh. Well, speaking of booty, I mean, look at Electro's butt.
Oh.
Whoa, Ray.
Well, it's,
Yeah, he works out,
Done.
Electroshock therapy.
Doing them squats.
Looks like he's clenching.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, so Hargrave's talking to him on that view screen and until it gets hit by some impact webbing.
Yes. Balls down the gob. Yes. I like it. Scarlet Spot. He's taking action. He's always on the front foot. Where Peter's chasing, Ben is there already. I love it. Tricky Dicky. Dicky.
Get
Indeed.
that last page, splash page.
Yeah. Very cool.
Ben hanging on the wall, giving them the finger. It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Oh my. And they just set up that line. I wouldn't worry about old Doc Ock's booty if I were you. So it's like, are we talking about butts, or they think he's like a pirate or something?
Yeah.
It's like the Goonies. Oh, you're never gonna get Doc Ock's booty.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. But he's pretty ballsy. Old Ben Riley there. He's a couple of balls down the gob. he's taken on the whole quartet. Again.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a confidence boost from taking out Venom, which he later brags about.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this random Facebook user? Is that you, Lilith?
Oh.
That's Kona? I thought it was Thor.
You've got to speak Old English then, Matt, now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what Thor? Are you talking about Endgame Thor? Because that's kind of how I feel right now.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna get mad at Facebook user.
You were
shut it on my headphones.
I'll come over to your house, kid. And
No, I'm not going to Florida.
Yeah, who wants to go to Florida? Yay, verily. Let's get to issue 2.
Yeah.
So let me just...
Lil, if you're awake, you can jump in.
Yeah, Lilith, you could tag out for me because I might turn into a pumpkin or a pumpkin bomb sometime a little after 8ish. I have to get ready for work.
Gobble, gobble. Sucks up.
It's all, hey, Lil, this episode, it's all Ray's fault.
Sucks up.
Anywho.
So, yeah.
Issue 2?
Issue 2,
yes.
yeah, where it picks up exactly where issue 1 leaves off. Oh, and another editor's note on page 1.
Page 1 already?
Because this story takes place prior to Web of Spider-Man 123, which we'll get to next month.
Why don't we have an editor's note saying this issue takes place right after
issue 1?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And right before issue 3 of this series.
If you didn't know, issue 2 takes place right after issue 1.
Yeah.
But yes, I thought this was great action and some classic wisecracks that Ben Riley has inherited from Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, he's all happy that everyone knows him because it was the Vulture last issue. This time, Electro's yelling Spider-Man and Hobgoblin's like, no, it's the other one. You fool, the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. He certainly looks a lot more comfortable, doesn't he, than those issues that we saw before. Like, he's, really taking it into his stride.
Well, he also has space to work and no civilians to worry about too, so he can really focus on the task at hand.
No Rich Gannon to worry about.
No.
I was going to say Rich Gannon and the World Trade Center. These have given him confidence.
Yeah.
Then, Electro's just yelling, no one can stand against the Sinister Six. And he's like, Sinister Six? You could use a refresher in remedial math.
Yeah. Living in the past, man. But Electro's quite powerful. It always kind of slightly disappoints me how he's kind of not seeing his full potential.
Or like Spider-Man will hit him with water and like short circuit him.
Yeah.
I'm like the dude. What, the dude never bathes?
Exactly. Yeah. What happens when he sweats? You know?
Oh, I know, because look at him. He's obviously going to the gym. Come on.
Now, do you think he drinks water or Gatorade? I think he Gatorade because it has more electrolytes. Like a double electrolytes.
Yeah. With probably maybe the laziest origin ever. He was just working on some power lines and got struck by lightning, and all of a sudden he has superpowers.
Yeah.
That's how you want to get him, though, isn't it? You know.
I don't know if I want to be struck by lightning, but
you know,
more hit by down power lines. But,
oh yeah, that's pretty bad. So yeah, massive action here.
I love this line where Spider Sense is going off, and he's like, "Better move it before there's only one Peter Parker left in the world."
Yeah. Which it's a whole another identity issue. He's Peter Parker. I thought he was Ben Reilly. Is he straddling the fence there? What's going on? But
not totally convinced, is he?
Maybe he's talking in the genetic sense. I don't know.
Maybe they're muddy in the waters. I think genetically that sounds good.
Oh, and another editor's note, 'cause he jumps on the Vulture's back and he's like, "In case you don't know, I'm the one who put the hurt on the Venom."
There you go. He just had to name drop, didn't he? Sort of, you know.
As if you guys didn't take me seriously enough. I took down the biggest villain of the '90s, Venom.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing pretty well against these guys at the moment as well. He flips the Vulture into Mysterio.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
already KO'd Electro. He's only got Hobgoblin left.
And got the Spider-Man humor down. It takes 6 of you to screw in a light bulb, and now you're down 2.
Yeah. Sorry. Are you going to say? I was about to say this. I love this exchange with Hobgoblin about cheap facsimile. Yeah, yeah. I think that's really cool. Like, look, he's calling the kettle black. I mean, because let's face it, the Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. There's always going to be comparisons, but yeah.
And again, he's like, "I knew the Green Goblin. I fought the Green Goblin." No, you didn't. You know, right at this point, you're thinking you're the clone. Oh, well, he is, but I mean, it's just like, no, you didn't fight the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Well, he just wanted to quote Kennedy. He's just like, I fought the Green Goblin. You're no Green Goblin.
So, unfortunately, then just a really innocuous action here of bringing down the ceiling.
Oh yeah,
kind of
pumpkin bomb
incapacitates. Yeah, incapacitates. And there's a token gesture of let's do some teamwork here by saying Electro, pin him down with crossfire. I don't know what really that does. Probably stopped him in his tracks whilst the ceiling came down on him. But Ben gets buried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, and we get a mention of the origin. Oh, you could have brought the whole wall ceiling down on us. And Hobgoblin's like, "Oh, Electro, if you don't have the stones for this, maybe you should go back to being a power company lineman."
A pretty buff power company lineman as well. So
hey, to quote episode 1 of The Flash, lightning gave him abs.
I mean, he looks like the kind of lineman that would play on the same team as Rich Gannon. Football player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jacked.
Or the homeless guy, either one.
Yeah. The homeless guy could be a punter.
But elsewhere,
Oh, this boob.
Elias Hargrove is that like an old school like satellite dish? What is this?
I think that's his weird interface that it's half camera. I love that there's octopus legs for a tripod and a transmitter, and that's how he was talking to the Sinister Four.
Yes.
Wow, so futuristic. Looks great.
Yes, because he's following instructions from this VHS tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's watching it gradually too, which is interesting.
I had to put it on pause.
Is this Doc Ock or porn? Why can't he watch the whole thing through?
Well, Doc Ock kind of looks like a porn star, doesn't he? Look at the haircut.
Whoa! I don't know what porn you have down there, Ray, but
I'm not going to tell you what they call Doc Ock in porn movies. So.
Whoa! Yeah. Don't add that letter, please. Don't. Yeah, because he hits play. If you're reviewing the second portion of the tape, you have successfully completed phase 1.
So systematic.
And he's like, he doesn't even listen to it. He's like, oh yeah, I already know what comes next.
Yeah.
Dear cousin.
And I guess the government scientist has made headway with the arms because he has there's some kind of like visor or something that will control the arms now.
Apparently is Professor X. he's moonlighting, as a scientist.
Yeah, it's also in New York where Professor X is. He's a little bit further upstate, but
Long Island,
Nassau County, baby. Yeah.
But the facility is being raided by, as per the mission, by Elias Hargrove to the Sinister Four.
Yep.
And they kind of lay siege to the area. Hobby just cackling away. Bloody Hobby.
And of course, this wouldn't be a Clone Saga tale without a mysterious figure lurking in the shadows.
No.
Yes. Kane.
Oh, that was Punisher. There's always one or the other, Yeah, Kane in his bloody costume again. When does that change? Does it change soon? He's still got it.
What, Kane in that costume?
Yeah.
I think he keeps it through the Clone Saga. I mean, there might be a story towards the end where he like takes it off, but yeah, I know. Like in what was that? The Lost Years. Yeah, he didn't have it, but yeah, most of the Clone Saga he has that costume. Yeah.
Okay.
This is how I always associate Kane wearing this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's his classic kind of look.
Oh.
But, yeah.
So yeah, the Sinister Four break in to grab the arms and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Electro being quite vicious. I assume he's killed that man, that government official.
Oh yeah, he shoots him with like an electric blast.
Yeah, and he's double back. I mean, his head almost touches his heels. It's quite a feat. But yeah, so high stakes. But they're almost there to get the tentacles.
The tentacles. Okay.
Sparkly quantum
Not those ones.
tentacles.
What do you like, Katie?
No, just these are adamantium, aren't they?
I know he had an adamantium version, but I don't know if these are those or not.
Okay.
But yeah, Vulture's.
Actually, they couldn't be because issue 3.
Oh yeah.
Surely can't be.
Because
Anyway,
Vulture's grabbing for him when they get hit by webbing.
Not impact webbing.
Nope.
But the other one.
Good old McFarlane spaghetti webbing. Yes.
Yeah.
Or good bickering between the Sinister Four where Vulture is offending Electro by, on my lead, attack.
Yeah. Just always bickering. This is why they aren't successful.
I mean, they should have had a meeting because obviously, Dr. Octopus was the natural leader to the group. And now who's going to be in charge? Hobgoblin? Come on. I don't know.
Nah. I would say if any of them, maybe Vulture if he was a bit older, but he's kind of youngified himself. So, yeah.
And Spider-Man mentions Kona's favorite Jerky Boys.
I love the Jerky Boys. Did you ever have the Jerky Boys in Australia?
Yeah,
we down there, but
no, I heard of the Jerky Boys. Are they the pranksters or?
Yeah, they make prank phone calls.
Yeah. Is that all they did, or did they do something else? Like, were they just comedians? Or?
No, I mean they weren't comedians. They were just guys who made prank phone calls, and then that became their job. They did make a movie that is called The Jerky Boys, the movie, where they play themselves. And I did see it in opening night at the theater as a kid. And it was one of those movies where it was a packed theater, so it was really fun. I've never seen like a comedy like that. And then you watch it like at your house on video. You're like, oh, this movie is real bad.
Caught in the moment in the cinema, but kind of hurled to reality back home.
Yeah.
On
further inspection. Yeah.
I love this part, where Spider-Man's kind of explaining to himself how he found the Sinister Six. He doesn't even really know. He's like, I got a strange blip on my spider sense, but because it was the Scarlet Spider's tracer,
the mini dot.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. And this little kind of exchange as well. Squash the insect. Like, it's arachnid.
Yeah.
It's which is true.
I think he did it on purpose to make him feel bad.
Yeah. It's mind games. I think they're from. What's his name? Max Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Electro. Yeah. They say violence is the first refuge of the incompetent. While they're keeping Spider-Man busy, a mysterious shadowy figure grabs something.
Dun dun dun. Oh, so he does take it.
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man grabs Mysterio. These are the big leagues, not Star Search 95.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even know Star Search was still on.
I know.
That's like American Idol now.
Yeah, I remember we had Star Search broadcast here as well.
Yeah.
Was it Ed McMahon?
Was it?
I don't know. I think the Ed McMahon might have been replaced by that point.
Yes, sir.
Probably like Alan Thicke or something. I don't know. Oh, actually, it ended in 95. I just checked the...
Lovely.
So maybe Spider-Man was making a joke about how it's failing? I don't know.
We are up to date with the info here.
Yes.
Listeners.
I love how Spider-Man's grabbing a Mysterio and saying, you may want to retire that bubble.
But he's doing pretty well. He's coordinating his attacks on the Sinister Six. He's got Vulture at him. He kind of uses Mysterio to incapacitate Vulture.
Yep.
But he does get, and this is why they are failing as the villains. Electro, what does he say here? He said he doesn't like amp it up against Spidey. He wants to see his expression. If you had a chance, wouldn't you just take it?
That was only a hyperstatic burst. So what? He was trying to kill him with like static electricity or something.
And he amped it up.
I want to see the expression on your face when you die, and see if Spider-Man's like, that'd be a pretty good trick. I'm wearing a full face mask.
It's like fail. Yeah. But yeah, what does he do? He manages just to evade Electro, and he swings by Hobby, who he had struck down before. But he's going towards the tentacles. That's right. And Hobgoblin
whips a pumpkin
throws
bomb.
another bomb.
Yep. So the four of them are like, "Where's he at? I can't see. Is he finished?"
Yeah.
And that's when all four of them get hit by something.
This is the big, kick-ass moment. Yep.
It was already spoiled on the cover, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
True.
Say hello to the amazing Octo Spidey.
Look at that. As a youngin', you'd be reading that going, oh yeah. This is good. So he's got the helmet, so he should be able to control these tentacles. But
If you know from Ray's octopus facts, that might not be the case.
That is it. They have a mind of their own.
Yeah. But I liked that at least they didn't do sort of a 90s trope and give you something drastic on the cover and then don't reveal it until the last panel. We actually get some action. We get to see Spider-Man fight with the tentacles.
Yeah, that's true, because it very much seemed like a last page thing, didn't it? Like that reveal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's still some action to follow. And, he makes light work of them all.
Yeah, he's like kicking their butts, and then as they're
even the Vulture, which he doesn't even see, the tentacles, take care of that for him. Yeah.
Well, he says because between the arms and his spider sense, so the spider sense senses danger. He just like whips an arm up and.
Yeah.
Mysterio, he's unstoppable. He's kind of lost faith straight away, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, because he's really winning until Hobgoblin zaps that headset.
Mm.
So
and then it just goes all haywire.
Yeah, because he's like, he gets the helmet off, but the arms are out of control.
Which is quite comical to think that Spider-Man's stuck there. These tentacles just doing whatever they want.
And then we see Electro and Mysterio trying to get away, and they run into, of course, Kane. To end issue 2.
Oh, gosh. About to inflict the mark of Kane as well. Sounds painful.
Yeah. Through the already shattered globe of Electro's helmet.
Is Mysterio next?
Not Electro's helmet, Mysterio.
Yeah.
Electro is on the ground. He's like, oh boy, I'm glad I'm not the leader, right?
Yeah, that's it. I better pretend I'm unconscious.
And then look at that issue 3 cover, man. I mean, well, of course, I think all these covers are done by Ron Lim, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all fans of the Ron Lim here.
Matt, how are you going for time? Are you all right? Or?
I don't know if I'm going to make it out for the 3rd issue, so maybe we should do a clean break. But I do love the breakdowns. Bob Badiansky, Crypt Keeper, Overtaker, Undertaker.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll give you my my spoiler-free thoughts on issue 3. I like the action, and I like there's a twist coming up, kind of a multi-layered twist, and then you have the government descent, Spider-Man going on a journey in terms of I don't know, figuring out things of himself. Actually, yeah, there's multiple twists. This is a good issue. I'm sorry I have to rush out because I have to get myself ready to go talk about people who have been struck by lightning. There's a Boston a guy. Oh, now I forget his name because my brain's not turned on right now. But there's one of Sam Adams' cohorts got struck by lightning 3 times. And eventually killed him. Yeah, not consecutively. But I'll.
Oh man, what an unlucky fella.
Yeah, I can't remember his name because I'm short on sleep. But
who says lightning doesn't strike twice?
Yeah. It strikes 3 times.
Yeah, but before you go, Kona, tell everyone where they can find you.
All right, you can find me at Matt Kona, usually on Instagram and Facebook. If you hit me up on Facebook, I don't always check the messages in a timely fashion, but you can send me a request or follow along, listen to the Capes and Lunatics podcast. I'm on the Quantum Zone where you hear your voices too. So if you didn't already know, but yeah, cool.
Take up the Kona challenge. See if you can outpun Matt.
There you go.
Hey,
send him your pun.
Yes, pun away. Suck it, Lilith. Right.
Oh, I did cut that out. I didn't load the drop in yet, but
okay, right.
Hopefully next time I will have that.
It's a one-sided rivalry between Lilith and I.
She started it, man.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, it's good to talk to you, and I'll test my early exit. See you later.
All right.
All right. Bye.
See you later, bunkies.
See you later.
All right, Mr. Ray, let's get to issue 3. Rest in pieces.
Oh, with and I actually thought it's really ambiguous with the front cover. It kind of looks like webbing as well, but then it's also, I guess the remnants of the tentacles.
Yes.
Are they? Yeah.
Is that all Is that all tentacles? I think.
Oh, is it? What is it meant to be webbing?
I don't know. It's hard.
Thick.
Yeah.
It's pretty thick for webbing, but yeah. Anyway, Ron Lim, legend.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I mean this takes off at a pretty exciting moment, and we didn't see much of. We only saw like fleeting bits of Kane. Unfortunately, I think also from memory, I mean, we're going to go through the pages here, but I think we see even less of Ben Reilly or Scarlet Spider here, which is a shame. But we still get to see Kane and what he does. But yeah.
Yeah, because it opens up with Spider-Man trying to get control of those arms, because the arms are just like all the security shows up to like try to stop these arms, and the arms are just like smashing their way through all these guards and stuff.
Oh yeah, and again, Spider-Man's will as well. So they're actually attacking Spider-Man too. He's kind of like a sitting duck as well, because he's stuck in those tentacles. I guess he can only evade them so much, but he's got to do something, otherwise he's going to get hurt. There's even bits there where he actually, he webs the tentacles to save the soldiers. And pulls them up. So fighting himself.
Man. And then after taking a little nap under that wall, Ben Reilly wakes up.
Loafer. Anyway, here he comes. That's it. And there's another little editorial note there. That was just the last issue.
Remember he's been sitting under this wall since last issue, remember?
So he recognizes the cousin of Doc. Well, I guess he doesn't know he's the cousin, but he recognizes. Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Well, he says he remembers him from the funeral. Yeah,
from the funeral. Yeah. So, and he saw him on the screen, and so off he goes to look for that. So yeah, actually, he does have a bit of a part there, because he goes straight to the source. Whilst we, the readers, go look around, go I guess the long way. So we see Kane here. This was a really cool, I guess, interaction and foreboding for things to come, i.e. Mysterio. What I was kind of alluding to before about he's a lot more trickier than, like, he seems like the weakest of the Sinister Six, but he's actually the craftiest out of all of them.
Tricky Dicky.
He's a tricky Dicky. He is.
Oh yeah, I mean, kind of has to be, because he's pretty much the one with no powers, just and grab bag of tricks, like here when it looks like Kane's going to kill him, but it's basically a robot.
But I mean, it's what was if we get a little slight tangent, just with Mysterio again, because I always think of, say, for instance, what was it, Old Man Logan? You know how Mysterio is a villain there, and then also Spider-Man. I think Brian Michael Bendis used Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
So he actually comes up, and for someone that seems to be, someone with no powers and just has illusions and stuff, he actually is a lot more successful, I think, a villain than most others. So,
well, sometimes they like amp it up, because it's like, I think like in that Old Man Logan story, like I don't know if he was like using a hallucinogen or something on Wolverine. So
yeah.
So yeah, sometimes illusions, and like he uses mists and stuff. I think it like dulls Spider-Man's spider sense and stuff. Yeah, he has a nice little bag of tricks.
He's got and this one as well. I mean, we see he kind of does the old Dr. Doom on Kane.
Yep.
And there's an automaton. Yeah.
Automaton.
Automaton. Yeah. A robot. Yeah.
Kane trying to use the fancy words. Yes.
So that's cool. So he's not hurt, at least. Robot is. So Kane gets a little angry, and this is again what I was talking about with Electro. Unfortunately, he pours on the juice here to Kane, but it just seems to not have any effect on him. So
I love how he's just like, I mean, is this a joke? Mysterio maybe a little on the rusty side.
Oh yeah.
But he's like, that coward's robot gave me a chance to turn up the juice.
Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't do much. So like, he's even shocked. You're still standing.
Well, I don't know if he actually hits him, because it looks like the power's like flying around, but I don't know if it actually makes contact with Kane. Well, Kane punches him, but
yeah, but that's even worse then. Like he can't shoot him. Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe with the big power surge, he's got less control of it. Who knows?
Or he has to like build up a charge or something.
Yeah, but Kane, like I said, he's in big trouble because we know Kane has got no qualms with killing. So Electro's in a bit of bother there.
Meanwhile, Spider-Man's still flailing about.
Yeah, he's having a tough time with the tentacles again. All the soldiers are trying their best. Spidey's trying to save them as well as trying to not get killed by them.
Because I think we got a couple different artists on this issue, but I think this page is like one of the best art page. Look at the art on that page where he's just.
Oh yeah, that is quite nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just a nice composition, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Like the layout of the page. You can do. I don't know. I think like with the tentacles and stuff, it always makes it look really funky.
Mm-hmm.
They're flailing around everywhere. But anyway, Spider-Man, with his willpower and his determination, he manages to pull the thing off.
Well, pulls them apart. Yeah, he grabs that harness and just pull, like you were hinting at. Yeah, he pulls them apart because he said they're tough but not indestructible. So yes, they're probably not adamantium.
Yeah. And so, right. I mean, so in the comic book, because, I just thinking of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie. So those tentacles and the harness isn't like intimately kind of surgically implanted or grafted to the body. So Doc Ock just uses them as a I think they sound like
I think early on they were, but I think they actually did do surgery to take them off of him. But then that was like the big surprise right after that. It's like, oh no, he's still like mentally like bonded to them, so he could like.
Oh wow!
So okay. So after that, like he would get captured, they would separate him from the arms, and they like really had to like bury those arms because he could be miles away and call those arms to him.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah, I like him as a villain. Did you say Charlie's favorite villain?
Oh yeah, he loves Doc Ock, especially as like Superior Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good villain. Like,
oh yeah,
I'd rate him up there. One of obviously Spider-Man's top villains. But yeah,
but he's powerful. He's kind of like almost like another like dark version of Spider-Man. He's like a scientist and
yeah. Well, I like what Dan Slott did with him as well. And there's an inkling of like he kind of treads a little fine line of being good as well. Like there seems to be some noble, honorable aspect to him.
Yeah, it depends on the story, but yeah, especially like Superior Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, he really is a douche though as well. He's just the way he talks to other people.
Oh yeah,
and totally understandable if you think that you're the intellectual superior. Of course, you'd talk down to other people. If you're
superior.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a giant narcissist. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. Anyway, yeah. So the scientist comes out, mad that Spider-Man has destroyed the encephalo-responsive prosthetic technology.
It was all government sanctioned.
Yeah, Spider-Man's like, I don't really care. The old classic thwip. But yeah, doesn't care. Kind of shuts him up with some webbing and just flies away. He even says, what did he say? I can't waste any more time on social niceties, so he just wraps it up and flies away. Swings away.
Yeah, because we see like Kane about to kill Electro, but then he sees Spider-Man coming and he's like, oh, I don't want him to see me yet, because this is before Spider-Man found out about Kane, so.
Yeah, that's right. So he doesn't know about him at all.
Yeah.
Far out, eh? And so lucky Electro, he was about to get the death stroke there from Kane.
Yeah, because Spider-Man shows up. He's like, wait a minute, there's a broken Mysterio robot, and Electro's been knocked out, and just like laid out for me, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. He does, and after that, he doesn't really wonder too much, does he? I'd be really suspicious of two villains being like. Maybe he thought maybe it's Daredevil or someone's just kind of done the work for him. Some other superhero. Just okay, well.
Or maybe like we'll get more into this next month, but I think like next time he in that story he's like, I kind of had a hint that maybe my clone was still around, but
oh, okay.
So unless maybe he thinks it's Ben or something. So yeah, well he's pondering that. Yeah, Hargrove goes to see Otto's lawyer.
Gertie's.
Yeah. He's like
a bit of a smug fella as well, isn't he?
I guess he finally watched that full tape and noticed that it was
I like
faked.
This little,
yeah,
I like this little detail. That's pretty clever. Of the writers, Brevoort and the other person, if they did do this issue as well. It's pretty cool. So that's a giveaway that the videotape was doctored, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so Hargrove is he tries to shoot Gertie's, but it's not. Who is? It's not him.
Big reveal.
Mysterio.
That's what he says as well, Elias. Mysterio. But yeah, so an unlikely villain. Because again, this is I think a masterstroke, because for the last two issues, we've been seeing those villains as a team.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them to go out of their way and just be a solo villain in this instance is pretty smart. So
because he says Ock acquired all this information over the years, which could be proved damaging should it ever come to light, or invaluable in the right hands. So Mysterio set this whole thing up. So yes, he hid in plain sight, and I guess he was the shadowy figure who grabbed the discs last issue.
Yeah. Because when I first read it, I thought it was Kane, because he's always hiding in the shadows. But yeah, I mean,
or I thought the first time I read this in the 90s, I thought maybe it was the cousin.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
but it's Mr. Bubblehead.
Lord.
And this is weird. So, what is Mysterio's motive? Does he want to crack that and get the data, or does he just want no one to get it? Because
I think it was both. I think he didn't want anyone to have maybe if there's info about him, he didn't want anyone to have that, but then he would have all the other info too.
Yeah, because what he does later on, it's kind of like, well, no one's a winner. You know what I mean? But,
yeah, because he could probably blackmail a bunch of people with what's in there too.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so he's been he's revealed as the main villain.
And he's but he's also all this information's in this container that, of course, special code. He's like, as Ock's only living relative, you probably have the code. He's like, no, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I thought when I read it, it's a pretty silly for Elias to admit that, because that's probably the only thing that's keeping him alive, being of some use to Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, our boy again, Scarlet Spider, comes.
I was going to say, he's going to take down the big mastermind. That's right, Ben Reilly.
And yeah, we saw it as well. He had an inkling it was Elias Hargrove, so he's followed the trail, and thankfully he's done that, because now he's seen Mysterio.
Don't you ever update your material? Holographic projectors, hallucinogenic gas.
Yeah, we get a nice array here again of Mysterio-esque kind of stuff. But Scarlet Spider, and this is the thing with as you mentioned, with the smoke, right? It kind of deadens the spider sense, because
he's able to hit him from behind.
Riley, I think Riley's expecting to be able to figure out which one's the real one, but before he can do that, the real Mysterio clocks him.
So because he can't figure out he's seeing all these Mysterios. So the spider sense doesn't work. He's just trying to hit them all with impact webbing.
Yeah. Oh, actually, he says built-in jam. He actually says built-in jammers, so it's not the smoke, right? He's probably got something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that stops it. But yeah, he's hitting all the impact webbing to everyone, and then he's using his noggin. It's like, okay, well, Mysterio's obviously they're all illusions, so he goes for the other dude.
Yeah. He hits Hargrove with some impact webbing, and it's like, oh, Yep, that was Mysterio, because the real
And that's Mysterio.
Hargrove was knocked
yeah.
out behind the desk, yeah.
Yep. And I guess they just have to say that in case anyone had any ideas that maybe Hargrove had been murdered. But Scarlet Spider says, 40 winks behind the desk. So, all good. No one's dead.
So, yeah, well, Mysterio needs to get away. So he's like, didn't want to have to do this. But he opens that container of Ox, which is going to set off a bomb. So, yes, Scarlet Spider grabs Hargrove and jumps out the window.
Yeah, so I guess it was pushed to that option. I mean, I would have thought that maybe he had some other escape tactics, with smoke screens and stuff. But I guess he just used that and, maybe he thought, well, stuff it. Destroying the data is probably just as good as trying to find it, like trying to open it. So, so he covers his tracks. He's gone. Ben Reilly reckons, geez, no one could survive that. What was it? It was a whole floor.
Yeah, he said
floor.
Yeah, he said the bomb took out the whole floor. He couldn't have survived that, but then he's like, and assuming that was him, because misdirection's always been his strong suit.
Yeah. So he kind of lets Elias go, saying, well, you're a bit of a loser anyway. Despite what you were trying to do, I guess you can't ping him on anything, right? It's still, if you look at it, legally, he can't really.
I mean, well, basically, all you can get him for is what, an accessory? Because all he did was like set up the Sinister Six to do everything.
Yeah, true. I mean, the only connection that Ben knows, I guess, is that video conference that he had with them. Whether or not, I go, you can get in the whole details of whether or not that's traceable and all that. But
I guess he just lets him go and it's like, you better not take up, your cousin's profession.
Yeah. He loves the little threat, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Tough talk. Old Ben Reilly.
That's okay. That's the epilogue. Yeah, because I was gonna say we get a second epilogue on the last page of Peter just on the docks, thinking, I didn't bring your killer to justice, Doc. Yeah.
And I remember reading this, going, oh yeah. So like what I mentioned at the top of the show is like, oh yeah, we actually didn't see him at all, other than the videotape. I would have thought he may have, made an appearance, but no. It really just seems like there's some sort of finality with him being dead, especially on this last page, because Peter's vowing that he's not gonna stop until he finds a killer. And as you mentioned also a bit earlier, it ends with the same thing. It goes, as a wise man once taught me, with great power comes great responsibility.
Take a drink, Lilith.
Yeah, exactly. So that was it. 3-parter.
So what you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was fun. Like the art was really cool. Like I said, I think if anything, and not knowing the whole scope of the whole thing, I was a little bit me was expecting to see Doc Ock. So when he didn't show up, because like with the Sinister Six, there's the completists in me. There were only 4 of them, and I'm thinking, okay, they've got to get the other 2 and form the full thing sooner or later, right? During this arc.
Oh yeah,
it never happened. Fair enough.
I mean, not during this arc, but they kind of. There's an upcoming story where they get like 2 more. Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed. There's a lot of good action here. As much as I love Spidey as well, on the Scarlet Spider side of it, I would have loved to have seen maybe a bit more. But he had a big role in this. Like, he faced off Mysterio. So I'd give it I'd give the whole series maybe a B-.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, it was kind like I said, it was a kind of hard miniseries because you're trying to fit in Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider, all this stuff, and I think they kind of had to backtrack a little bit. So kind of like this story takes place a few months ago, so they couldn't
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to go read, because I neglected to read those issues where Doc Ock was killed. So I think it would be kind of useful to read that and put this in greater perspective. But it's good, enjoyable. I think 3 issues was probably enough. Yeah, you don't want to stretch it out to 6. So.
I was gonna say I'm surprised, because a lot of those miniseries at the time were 4 issues. I'm surprised they didn't stretch it out 1 more issue, but no, it was good length.
Yeah, 3 is a weird number to do an arc, but yeah. And like I said, I mean, there's plenty of things like, which I think was the better for it. They didn't dwell on, say, the Peter Parker, Mary Jane backstory, because they wanted to focus, I guess, on this, which is fair enough. So maybe that's why it was really kind of streamlined.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say, you only got, this whole series, you only got 1 page of Mary Jane. You didn't even get Ben. I don't think Ben Reilly even took his mask off this whole time.
Oh, yeah. He was all business in this. So you get none of that kind of, that other side of Ben Reilly. What happened to, was he in it? Ellis? Ken Ellis?
He wasn't in this series. Yeah, no. So.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he shows up a few more times during the Clone Saga, but I mean, yeah, he's...
Oh, he doesn't fit, because he seemed quite, he named Scarlet Spider and he chased him so much. I thought he would have had a recurring thing all the way through it.
Like I said, it's all throughout the Clone Saga, but yeah, I mean, he's...
Yeah.
When you need some bugle people, yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So anything else before we wrap this up?
No, just excited to for the next issue, which we'll cover, and how does that so what are we doing, Phil, and how does that kind of tie into this? Was this 3-parter like a separate standalone thing, or will we see any more of the Sinister Six?
We'll see. We'll see the Sinister Six again. That story, I don't know if, I don't think we're getting to that this year, but I mean, we'll get to it. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a few months, but
we'll see definitely more of Kane, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a bit of appearance. So yeah, so what's on the cards?
Well, for you lucky people, there's 5 Tuesdays in September. I almost missed that. So yes, next week Lilith will be back, and we're gonna talk. And Ray's gonna send in feedbacks. It's Spectacular Spider-Man 164 through 167. Yeah, get a Beetle one shot, and then followed by Night and Fog.
Yes, this is gonna bring back memories.
Yeah, Governor.
Teaser was good. Oh, I loved it. It's Sal Buscema art as well. Oh, yeah. Anyone that hasn't read that era of Spectacular Spider-Man or Spider-Man, highly urge you to do so.
Oh, yeah. The big splash. Sal Buscema splash page right across. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Head lolled back, flying backwards.
Talk about head at the heels, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot of good fun. It's, yeah.
And then followed by 3 weeks of some of my favorite Amazing Spider-Mans. Amazing Spider-Man 340 through 343, the Powerless thing. Followed by Amazing Spider-Man 349 and 350, Doctor Doom.
Ooh, nice.
And I don't know if Ray will be interested in this. Followed by Amazing Spider-Man 353 through 358. Round Robin, the Sidekick's Revenge.
I'm gonna have to weigh in on that. I love it. Yeah, we've had a few discussions of that on the Moon Knight podcast, but happy to always revisit it. It's one of the most fun series, and Bagley art, and it's got everything, everything but the kitchen sink. Punisher, Night Thrasher, all the
Nova, Darkhawk. Oh yeah,
Darkhawk. Yeah. And actually, we should ask Matt to have a good read of it as well, because it is filled with puns.
Yes.
Darkhawk, I think he just goes pun crazy. So yeah, that's a really.
Oh yeah, I need Kona and you to send in feedback for that one. We'll be like, it's the feedback revenge or something.
yeah, exactly. Oh, nice. That's good.
But then, yes, rounding out September will be Web of Spider-Man 122, Amazing Spider-Man 399, and Spider-Man 56, Smoke and Mirrors. Peter and Ben come back together and get our first appearance of new and improved 90s Jackal.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
The new genetically modified Jackal, yes. And some of his lackeys. So
yeah, he's an interesting villain, I must say.
Yeah, I think in the 90s they were trying, I don't know if they were trying to get on some of that Batman popularity, it's Spider-Man that's when he got Ravencroft, Arkham, and I swear they were trying to make Jackal like the Joker.
Oh really? Well,
I
don't think made anywhere near the same impression as the Joker does with Batman, but he's decent enough. I mean, what I found interesting was again the Dan Slott. Was it Clone Conspiracy?
Yes.
With the Jackal? Yeah, that's interesting.
Batman.
I had to hit the button.
I'm going to have to steal that data from your computer somehow. Wipe that.
It'll blow up.
Yeah.
I love all the stuff you say. That's the one that bothers you the most is the Batman.
Batman.
Well, hey, sorry? What the F? Yeah, oh, jeez. That, still sending ripples. That revelation. Seriously. That's crazy. No, I was just about to say, because just as an aside, the Batman trailer was...
Oh, yes, the Batman, yes, because DC Fandom was yesterday, yes.
Jeez, social media exploded with that event, didn't it? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was trying to share as much as I could, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, all their movies, I know there was a trailer, or there was a panel for the Flash TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a few things.
Does it include the comics and all that as well, or is it just TV movies?
I don't think there was a lot of comics, but I know they did say they're doing another one in September for, I don't know what's all on that agenda, so maybe there might be comics over there in September.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I must admit the trailer looks good. That's all I want to say.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see it. But, Ray's here, so no feedback. Well, the only feedback was, I love Ray sends us like real thought out feedback. Then Lilith is just like, that's Kona. I thought it was Thor.
Thank you, Lilith. Yes.
All right, Tricky Dicky, you want to get out of here because you got to go to bed.
Yeah, sure. No, again, it's another great episode. Stay listening, everyone. Scarlet Spider, awesome character.
Oh yeah, and then stay tuned because in November the Scarlet Spider episode will be the Ultimate Spider-Cast 100th episode with a live read by a bunch of people. So stay tuned for that.
Good.
All right, so yes, send us your thoughts. Gave you the list for September. Send the feedback. Be like Ray. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, Twitter. Follow all of our social media. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can see Ray. You can finally see Ray. Links to everything all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the Book, Volume 1, now digital and paperback. Volume 2 is coming. And remember, when you buy that and more on Amazon, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and Rob Master Doom Southgate.
So says Master Doom.
Oh, I forgot.
Make it rain. Please kick me in the pants.
All right. Ray, where can people find you and your many shows, including Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast?
I'm going to try something a little different here, Phil. Yes, absolutely. You can find me on a few podcasts, Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, also co-hosting Last Sons of Krypton, the Superman podcast, and also our brand new one, which is a couple of episodes in, and that is To Know Her is to Fear Her, the Spider-Woman podcast. A lot of fun to do, all three of them. Now you can just check us out on Facebook or Twitter. I've started a new Twitter handle just so I can kind of go between all of them and the Scarlet Spider cast here, rather than go under a particular moniker. So you can find me on at HP Ray with an E pod. That's at HP Ray pod. And yeah, just drop me a line. But I'll be around the traps. Commenting, retweeting, liking, replying about all the podcasts that I'm involved in. But yeah, that's the best way. Whoa, that's pretty damn big.
All right. Thank you, Ray, who Lilith says is our triplet.
Yes, thank you, triplet, Phil.
Oh, thank you, triplet, Ray.
Triplet, Lilith.
That's right. He has my taste in comics and Lilith's taste in drinking, so...
hybrid.
That's right. He runs on electricity. All right, everyone. Yes, come back next week. Lilith, Night Fog, great feedback. But until then, swing on back.